The rest of them are up here.
No, it was only 2 weeks ago, 2 days ago, that I was sitting at a table filling campaigns and your name came up in the conversation. So we were going through the local identities well, since they I started teaching at the teachers.
Yeah, let's just have some perspective.
Salt of the earth, always put in the mirror. This figures in schools. Okay, with the Parkinson's, he's gone 80. Salt of the earth, and I was explaining to my partner we're sitting basically at the same place, the same surround. We sat at 50 except Bill's collection of old I asked Keith to make sure he pointed you out to me.
See where Lola's up there? We're just going to sneak around. Go in front of the camera here. It's okay. Thanks, mate.
Well, it ain't no use sitting and wonder why, baby. Even you don't know by now. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, baby. It'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm a-traveling on. But don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. The light I never knowed. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, baby. I'm on the dark side of the road. But I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. But we never did too much talking anyway. But don't think twice, it's alright. So know it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, like you never done before. And it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, I can't hear you anymore. I'm a-thinking and a-wondering, walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I am told. I give her my heart, but she wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey, baby, where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye is too good a word, baby, so I just say fairly well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's alright.
Trees are filled with memories. Can I take you to a moment where the fields are painted gold and the trees are filled with memories of the feelings never told? When the evening pulls the sun down and the day is almost through, oh, the whole world is sleeping, can I be close to you? What a perfect song to commence this afternoon's ceremony. In fact, all the music this afternoon could well have been chosen by Luke himself. They were all favourite pieces and were definitely on high rotation on his phone. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Luke's loved and loving family, his adored wife and soulmate, Indira, his precious children, Sadie, Gus, and Ollie, his heartbroken but very proud parents, Judy and Keith, and all the Williams and Quinn families, I extend a very warm welcome to you all as we gather to remember, honour and celebrate the life of Luke Anthony Williams. Loved as Luke, Dad and Lukey. Wow. Look at you all. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon to support Indira and the family. But more importantly, thank you for your love, friendship and care of Luke in life. Your presence in such large numbers is an enormous comfort and support and a beautiful tribute to Luke. I especially recognise that some of you have travelled very long distances to be here today, from Melbourne and across Victoria and even interstate. Thank you so much. And I also acknowledge family and friends who are unable to attend in person today and who are watching this ceremony by live stream this afternoon. There are many of you, and your presence online is very appreciated. My name is Peter Goulet. I am honoured to have been asked by Indira to officiate at this ceremony this afternoon. I'm Luke's uncle, and like you, I am devastated by our loss. So I beg your understanding if my emotion intrudes a little at times today. But of course, this is not where any of us want to be this afternoon. This was not meant to happen. But we are here to show our love and respect for this amazing man and to acknowledge the impact of Luke's life on our own. As we begin, I invite Indira, Sadie, Gus and Ollie to come forward to light a memorial candle. The lighting of a candle is an ancient tradition that crosses cultures and time. The light and warmth of this candle reminds us that Luke's love and memory will go on, and that who he was and what he represented will be treasured and will burn brightly through the generations.
It's 4 weeks, everybody.
Not easy to do. At a time like this, it's inevitable that we reflect on how fragile and finite life can be. I heard someone recently describe death as an ordinary tragedy. It's ordinary in the sense that it's an inevitable and challenging part of nature's cycle, but a tragedy nevertheless when it creeps in so suddenly and without warning for one who we might rightly have assumed had many more years to live. It has been said that our lives are like rivers. Eventually, no matter how long or short, they will go where they must, not where we want them to. And I'm sure Luke's work and his attitude to life meant that he knew that better than most. Ironically, he would know exactly what to say right now. He had a big heart and a true gift with words. The day before Luke died, I sent him a fun text. I told him that I'd just been given some really good advice, and that was to always be good to your nieces and nephews because they're the ones you'll need one day to smuggle that alcohol into your nursing home. Of course, Luke was quick to reply. He sent a fun reply, but then he added an extra sentence a lot more thoughtfully. And he said, "Uncle Pete, if we have any say in it, we'll do whatever we can to help you and Bernie live with safety, dignity and independence in your own home." That was just typical, wasn't it? As I said, Luke was always kind and had a great gift with words. Luke Williams, a fun and loving human being, caring, kind and compassionate, a proud dad, a man who loved and delighted in family, his own family with Indira, and of course his dear mum and dad, sister Erin and brother Ross and their families, always thoughtful, smiling, sometimes cheeky, an exceptional and awe-inspiring palliative care nurse, selfless, giving and always respectful. He had unmatched dedication. He was a mentor, a generous colleague, a constant and true friend. A friend who just got it. One of a kind, a beautiful soul. A guy who practiced what he preached and who practiced what you just can't learn in a textbook. A man whose love and legacy is obvious to so many, yet whose true impact on so many families, especially here in East Gippsland, can never really be known. He offered care with grace and compassion at the toughest of times. These beautiful words are not my words, but they are mere samples of the hundreds and hundreds of tributes I've read online over the last week from devastated and caring friends, as well as from a deeply appreciative community. This was the man you knew and you loved. I love that Luke was one of the few people in my life that I had to stand on tiptoes to hug. It always caught me by surprise that my funny, devilish little strawberry blonde nephew was now bigger and stronger than me. Luke certainly grew and he blossomed as the years went on. And in fact, the more he blossomed, the more that beard grew. After school at St John's Dandenong, Luke became an apprentice motor mechanic. But ultimately, as time went by, his love of cars and tinkering proved to be stronger than his love for the actual job. Later, he tried horticulture at TAFE for a while, but most importantly, there was always KFC. That love of cars, as most of us know, never faltered, never faded. And many of you will have seen Luke's Vauxhall proudly parked in the driveway or running around town. And I guess very symbolic today that Sadie, Gus and Ollie had a bit of a choice about the car to be used for Luke's final trip today. And they chose a Mercedes. A lot of you have seen it parked out the front, and they had a closer inspection of that car last night. But Luke soon found his niche. He started his Div 2 nurse training, and that's not a job that would suit many young people. But Luke was a natural, especially when he started his placement at a nursing home in Hallam. He cared, he was curious and respectful, and he took time, most importantly, to listen. The residents loved him and he loved his work. So now he had a reason to study. After completing his Div 2, he enrolled in a full nursing degree to gain his registration. Later, of course, he completed his master's and then his nurse practitioner training. You know, sometimes chance can turn our lives around. As Luke knew well, when the dice are rolled, luck doesn't always go our way. And yet at other times, we can hit the jackpot. As luck would have it, Luke hit the jackpot when he enrolled in a nursing degree at the University of Tasmania in Launceston. He did well there, but equally importantly, perhaps more importantly, it was there he met a young Indira Quinn. That's worth celebrating. I suspect that Indira may have noticed Luke first because she told me recently that she thought he was a hot-looking Heath Ledger type. Cool and cigarette in hand. I was interested in that cigarette. And Luke's first memory of Indira was during a fire drill at their uni accommodation. Indira admits that she may have just been a little bit tipsy, but Luke was understandably more than keen to invite her for a drink at a bar. That was back in 2008, and the rest, as we say, is history. An engagement followed a couple of years later in 2010, and then on the 10th of December 2011, Luke and Indira were married in August, and we all celebrated by the river in Marlow. I asked Indira just the other day how Luke adapted to life with the Quinns. She just shook her head and giggled and said, "Poor guy." I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Those beautiful words are not mine, I wish I could claim them, but they're the words of Maya Angelou. They remind us that no one's life can ever be reduced to just dates and places. Life is what really happened there. It's the stories, the people, and the adventures. So let's hear a few of those memories and stories now, and to commence, I invite Luke's brother Ross to come forward to deliver the eulogy. Thanks, Ross.
I received some great advice from Uncle Peter and Uncle Bernie. Wiggle my toes, wiggle my toes, wiggle my toes. So if I pause, you know what I'm doing. Luke Anthony Williams, born in Sea Lake, Victoria on the 10th of September 1986. Obviously, I've really struggled with the writing of this eulogy for many reasons. So as one does, I googled how to and templates. And I decided there is absolutely no way I'm writing a eulogy for Luke how they suggest. So here I go. Luke's professional life as a palliative care nurse practitioner meant that he, more than anyone, knew the fragility of life more than anyone. But his shocking and sudden passing was something that no one here, and undoubtedly Luke himself, ever saw coming. This gathering is testament to him as a person and his ability to engage and affect people's lives in different ways. Luke was someone different to everyone here in this room. Well, I just realised how many people are here. To me, he's my big brother and best mate. To Ez, her little, but not littlest brother. Eldest son to mum and dad. Uncle to Harry, Emma, Sarah, Charlie and Bonnie. Son-in-law to Penny and Peter. Brother-in-law to Erin, Lucy, Gabe, Claire, Lockie, Chris, Nathan and Megan. Nephew and cousin, mate and Lukey to the boys. Colleague to many, and peace finder and carer to his patients. But by far, Luke's most important roles are loving husband to Indy and ever-proud father to Sadie, Gus and Ollie. I told Gus the other day that I have implanted in my head the look of sheer pride, admiration and love that Luke had on his face each time that I saw him in person after the birth of each of his children. Something I'll never forget and never tire of telling the three of them. Mum shared with me a text that Luke sent to her late last year, which talked in glowing terms about Sadie, Gus and Ollie, some of which I'll share later. But he noted towards the end of it that we've just got to make sure the world is kind to them and doesn't swallow them up. And to Luke, I say that's all of our jobs now. I know together we will continue to put our arms literally and figuratively around Indy and the kids to give them the love, support and guidance they'll need now and forever. So, who was Luke? Really? Despite early murmurings from our Uncle Tim, there wasn't a good Luke and naughty Luke. There was just Luke. It's a well-known fact that Luke was a giver, not only in his professional life to his patients and colleagues, but in his personal life too, to all those that knew him. One such example of his giving nature was in circa 1998, when Luke so generously and kindly gave me my first blood nose by punching me in it, all because I ate a lolly. We put it down to him having a bad day at school. Luke's greatest gift, however, was a ring that he gave to Indy on the 10th of December 2011, which saw the beginning of what became their beautiful family of 5. Ez, my sister, has pointedly said to a few people since Luke's passing that he'd had better words for all this. And he did always have a way with words. An example of this is, as a young child, Luke so elegantly and lovingly described Mum to not only herself, but to every one of the many shoppers in the local Target as a big, fat cow. And more recently, in Luke's aforementioned description of the pride he has in his kids to Mum. And I read, "You wouldn't believe how proud. She's a remarkable young woman," talking about Sadie. "She's going to make a difference. She's passionate, motivated, so intelligent and level-headed. She's outgoing like her mum and has such a wicked, mature sense of humour. She's very artistic too, creative. They're all so amazing. Gus is getting so strong and brave and his academics have really taken off over the last term. He read the word metamorphosis the other night. He borrowed an Aussie joke book this week and he's really getting into it and understanding them too. He's getting into his footy and really building a strong network of friends. Ollie is a mix of the two. He has the growth and intelligence, bravery and creativity. It's beautiful to see something new from him every day. He's got a great sense of humour too. They're also caring and loving. And those words are so true. Luke always loved the water as well. So much so that as a teenager, he really wanted Ez to experience the joy of being in our family spa. So I had nothing to do with it, dragged her in fully clothed. My memory is hazy, but I believe there was references by Ez to how fun that was and how much of a delighting human Luke was at the time. Luke's love for the water, though, led them to here, home, in Lakes Entrance, so that he, Indy and the family can experience fresh air and freedom every day. And Luke at times enjoyed a new challenge and adventure. This was evident in Luke's early teens when, on an annual Williams trip, this time to Marimula, Dad kicked Luke and I out of the car in the middle of nowhere because of our, let's call it subpar behaviour, before driving off on us. There I was, standing down a future on the streets, only to be inspired by my big bro, who almost had a pep in his step as he continued on down the road with little bro now in tow. Spoiler alert, Mum and Dad and Ez did return after an incredibly long 60 seconds or so. But this trait of Luke saw him move to achieve his next goals throughout his life. From Tasmania for tertiary studies to Wyndham Vale, Currumborough, Broken Hill and Lakes Entrance to achieve his next professional accomplishments and make a better life for his family. A note on Luke's professional achievements, as much as Luke was proud of his family, we were all proud of him, not only for the incredible family he has, but the work that he did to ensure that the end of life for so many people was so much more comfortable and peaceful. He would hate this, but I encourage you all to Google Luke Williams nurse and see just how large an impact he made to his patients and future palliative patients to come. With Luke's passing, we've all lost a part of ourselves, but that part that we have lost is minute in comparison to the part that Luke put into us. His love, his generosity and his kindness will live on through all of us, most brightly in his children. And to his children, Sadie, you shared so openly and truthfully with me that Dad's passing wasn't fair, and that it was meant to, in your words, die an old fart. I agree, and we all agree, this just isn't fair. But it made me stop and think, what is fairness? And it didn't take me long to realise that Dad had that answer, and he lived it. Fairness is fighting for the rights of the vulnerable who need a hand held and being a leader for those that need it. And Sadie, that embodies who you are. In school in life. And you made it very clear to me that Dad wouldn't want donations to a government, but to donations to marine conservation type organisations. Well done. Gus, you laid claim, and rightfully so, as his eldest son I think, to Dad's car. Just don't ask me to teach you how to drive it because it's a manual. But that's not everything of Dad's that you'll have. You'll always have his inquisitive mind in the way that you are curious and passionate about what you love and the world around you. You've also inherited and will hold his bravery in every hurdle and in facing every hurdle head on. Not necessarily without fear or worry, but with a view to what's to come and knowing you'll be better off for it. You've also got his cheek. Don't lose that and use it wisely. Ollie, as you expressed so innocently, we are all here because Dad's, in your words, passed under. But know that just because Dad isn't here in person, he'll always be in your heart. You have his loving and kind nature in the way that you care for those around you, including your pets and your toys. I can't wait to see you and your love grow. You also have his creative streak that he let out a little too little as he grew older. So ensure that you let that out whenever you can in ways that make you happy. All three of you have every one of Dad's traits in some way, and they form who you are. And for us and Dad, who's always with you, we look forward to seeing them grow and come out in all sorts of wonderful and unique ways. We love you. Indy. I've said this to you so many times before, but I want and need to say to you now, in front of everyone here, thank you. Thank you for everything you did for Luke. As much as everything has changed, nothing changes. In that you have our endless love and support, and we've always got you and anything you need. Thanks. And to Luke. Thanks for everything. Love you, bro. Be good.
Thank you, Ross. Luke had many great mates, always did, real mates, real friends, over many, many years. And this afternoon, on behalf of those mates, I'd like to invite Ben and Michael, or Ben and Nellie, two of his great mates, to come forward to tell some of their stories, and true stories, I'm sure. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Nellie, and I was really lucky to have Luke as a friend, and one of the things that it's really nice to hear today is the appreciation for the talent that Luke had with words. I was lucky to speak to Luke for a long time and to think about language with him in ways that helped me and I hope helped him. And for today, I've just written a poem because I think he would have liked that. It's called Fishing in Your Jogs in Winter. When you were 7, you were tall and shy, scoring free throws from the little line. I know this because I found you lots, thinking if you stood up straight, I'd lost. Through sirens, songs and sacraments, in joy, purpose, ennui, comrades of the soul we were, labouring to be. A conversation of 3 decades, yet I never heard you say, I wonder what they spent on that, because that wasn't worth the day. And in here was your rebellion, those old and tender notes, that reservoir of gentleness, drawn and drawn and drawn. Into that Pacific Ocean, we cast out once again, Indira, ashore, as always, your precious, precious friend. And to the laughter of your children, in 9 or 10, everything, shivering and loved.
I'm not the best public speaker, so I'll battle off the nerves. Luke, you were an old soul. I often felt like we were friends in more than one lifetime. When we met, it was an instant feeling of understanding, nurturing, and peace. Like we had spent lifetimes together and our souls had reconnected in a regional college straight out of Dandenong. Our bond was mostly over words unspoken, and it was one another's presence that gave us all the love and strength we needed to feel at home in the world we were facing. When I look back and remember the times we shared, I'm overwhelmed with memories of love, laughter, and mischief. Luke, you were my one true friend. When I needed you, you were next to me. When I moved to Queensland, you came and settled me in. The day my son was born, you were the first to come and greet me with a beer. Luke, I can still feel you in everything I do. Your calm, wise words, the warmth of your the basketball courts. Fierce and powerful, Luke was serious about playing ball. Off the courts, Luke was rebellious. St. John's Regional College was prestigious. And your shirt had to be tucked in. Your tie up tight, your hair clipped and proper. Luke's shirt was out, tie was loose, and he turned to using bar of soap as his hair product as he let his hair go out like a bird's nest. At parties, Luke would shine bright. John Butler would come on, and Luke's clothes would come off. He loved the fun run. I could go on for hours about the wild times we shared as teenagers. And for Indy, Sadie, Gus and Ollie, it's our goal to share them with you in time to come. But under all of the rebellion and with his clothes back on, Luke was also incredibly smart. Luke went on to show this in his studies and career as a nurse practitioner. It was during the time of those studies that Luke bumped into a pretty awesome chick. We met Indy in a dodgy car park of a friend's supermarket in Dufton. Luke popped out, grinning from ear to ear. The door swung open, and they went. Indy opposed Luke's eagerness to undress in public. She even made up her own swear words on some occasions. But Indy, you gave Luke the love and safe space to be his happiest self. Luke and I spoke in depth about many things, but what I will carry into the future is the love and pride he has expressed for his kids. He was humbled by Sadie's intelligence and ability to remain true to herself in a noisy world. Gus's big, soft heart, charming and cheeky nature would remind Luke of his own childhood. Ollie was Daddy's wingman, along for every adventure. Until we meet again, old friend, I love you, man.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Nellie. I think you used the expression, comrades of the soul. You are truly comrades of the soul. And now a very special tribute on behalf of Luke's colleagues, and I invite Kenna Beams to come forward.
Thank you all for the opportunity to speak about Luke. Firstly, on behalf of the home nursing and by extension all of the staff at the Benstar Regional Health Service, we'd like to offer our sincere condolences to Indy, Sadie, Gus and Ollie, and of course the rest of Luke's friends and family here today. How do we keep a speech short about a man who we could talk about all day? A man who did so many amazing things for so many people, including complete strangers. Luke wasn't just a colleague, he was our work family. Someone we could go to for advice, for support and reassurance. He was someone we admired, respected and trusted, and someone we cared deeply about. It is difficult to distinguish between Luke as the nurse practitioner and Luke as the individual, because the exceptional practitioner that he was clearly driven by the very heart that made him such an amazing person. If I say that though, that might be because he never punched any of us in the nose over a lolly. There is no doubt that everyone sitting in the room here today has been touched deeply by Luke, and how could you not? Luke brought a presence to any room he walked into, a sense of calm, care and safety. His gentle tone and caring nature brought reassurance to so many people. During their most challenging times, whether it was a patient, their family, or even colleagues experiencing our own challenges. But there was no off switch. He cared about everyone and anyone, and you would always feel better after having a conversation with Luke. His role was to improve people's quality of life by managing the symptoms affecting terminally ill patients, and to provide education and support to the families, and give them the confidence to look after their loved one as they near death. This was something that Luke did exceptionally well, but on so many occasions, he took this role to another level. He would often give out his personal number for people to call if they were concerned at any time, and he would always make an extra house call or a visit to the hospital, or even just phone people in his own time, just to make sure that they were doing okay. Luke would advocate for his patients and even tell the doctors what they needed to do. And more often than not, they would listen to him because he knew a lot more than what they did. He even went as far as organising a high tea for a patient after asking her what was on her bucket list. Luke's role wasn't just a job to him, it was his heart and soul. He admitted to lots of us a feeling of self-worth and value when he helped others, and so many people have been able to reap the rewards of his kind and caring nature. Our office and our lives will never be the same, but we promise to always speak Luke's name and strive to continue the exceptional quality of care that he made an example of during his time at the home-based nursing. And to Luke, the legacy you leave behind is sitting here today. It's your beautiful family, your friends, and every other person you made an impact on. The world is lesser without you in it. There will never be another who can change so many lives in such a short life. Thank you for your friendship, your work ethic, and your love to everyone who had the pleasure of crossing your path. Rest in peace, dear friend. You'll be forever missed and never forgotten.
And thank you again, Jenna. I think we all need to take a few moments now to quietly reflect and gather our thoughts. And as we do that, we're going to have a look at some very special moments and some classic photos from across Luke's life.
This day is getting older and fading light. It's beautiful. This wind is blowing colder, and too soon I'll feel its pull. Still I took all my chances, earned myself an even score. Try to learn my lessons well. And I don't have the answers for those questions anymore. Only love can be both heaven and hell. So sturdy up your heart, for the road is long ahead. I'll be with you even though we're apart, but your road is yours to tread. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, mind, mind. So it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, 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 mind. My stronger years gave my wife my devotion. When she died, the ocean my tears. I've tried to teach you well, son, all of everything I knew of how to live this life, be true. Don't bow your head to no one, and no matter what you do, if you start, then see it through. So sturdy up your heart, for the road but your road is yours to tread. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, mind. So it goes, and so it goes, and so it goes. Slows your mind, mind.
It's a lot to take in. Dave, I think we can keep that rolling during refreshments later on for a while. That'd be terrific so that we can have another look. They were some classic photos. Thanks to Chris for putting that together for us, and also Ross for helping to source some of those photos. Those were good days. And as we looked at those fantastic photos through time and place with family and friends, I'm reminded that ultimately what we leave behind is not what's engraved on monuments and plaques, on stones and walls, but what we really leave behind is what's woven into the hearts and minds of those around us, of our friends and family, what is woven into our lives. And that's what Luke has left behind. As this ceremony approaches its conclusion, there are a few important thank yous and acknowledgements. I acknowledge the gentle care of the team from Stephen Bagg's funeral directors. Thank you. Really importantly, thank you to the Lakes Entrance community who have wrapped their arms around Indira and the children. Indira is so appreciative. Thank you to St Brendan's school community. You have made a difference. Thank you to Luke and Indy's neighbours who stepped in quickly to help at the worst of possible times. You saved the day. And thank you to the other first responders, the ambulance crew and the police, all of whom, of course, knew Luke. Thank you for your sensitivity and care at a terrible time. And thank you to everyone, thank you to all of you who helped to make Luke's life happier and more satisfying. There are many of you, and Luke's family says thank you. Thank you for your friendship, thank you for your love and care, and thank you for the good times. Your simple kindnesses have been so appreciated. Following the ceremony, the family would be very pleased if you could join them here in the hall to enjoy some refreshments and share some memories with old friends and new. And again, a special thank you to St Brendan's School for looking after the catering. A little later, about 4:30-ish, the family are going to move on to the servo. I think most of you will know where that is, and I've spotted where it is down on the esplanade. And if you're not sure, just ask. You are also very welcome to join the family there at that time. As Ross mentioned in his eulogy, in lieu of flowers and in honour of Luke's memory, if you would care to make a donation to Sea Shepherd Australia or the Australian Marine Conservation Society, the family would be very pleased. And I understand there are some envelopes here in the hall as you came in. And also there was a bit of a rush as people came in. How incredible that there was such a long queue. And if you didn't have an opportunity to sign the condolence book, please do so as you leave today. If you are able to, could I ask you to please stand? We come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing, but the memories we leave behind are the true mark of our life success. Luke, thank you for the good times and thank you for your kindness, your smiles and your beautiful pride in your family. Luke, your life we honour, your departure we must accept, and your memory we will always cherish. And so now we tenderly, lovingly and reverently commit Luke's body back to nature's keeping. Rest peacefully now in the hearts and minds of your loved and loving family and friends. And in Luke's immortal words, be kind to yourself. I love you, man.